Rick Sanchez was talking to Jessica Yellen, and he was discussing the rumors that Obama is facing about.
She's a CNN reporter.
Yeah, she's a CNN reporter. She usually comes on to talk about, politics. She's a political correspondent. And, they were talking about the rumors regarding Obama being a Muslim. Mm-hmm. And, Rick Sanchez.
Are they rumors? I mean, are they just rumors?
Well, I mean, he says he's a Christian, and I guess I'll take his word for it.
Right.
But, that's what he said.
I'll take the president at his word, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So, Rick Sanchez seemed puzzled at these rumors and how Obama isn't able to change the mindset. So, while doing so, he said something that was a little offensive. Let's watch the video.
I'm just sitting here just shaking my head. He is the cotton-picking president of the United States. Right. If the president of the United States doesn't have enough of a bully pulpit to convince people of a lie, that a lie is a lie, I should say, then, where are we? What kind of planet are we living on? What the hell is going on here?
All right. So he called President Obama a cotton-picking president.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm guessing you've never heard that expression.
No, I have heard that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've heard that expression a lot of times, actually. So when I heard
it hasn't been fully embraced by your generation, I suspect.
It hasn't been embraced by my generation. I've heard older people say it. Older people like you. And I'm just kidding. Half kidding. But anyway, so, I've heard cotton picking, I don't know, that cotton picking barista at Starbucks got my order wrong.
Yeah.
It's like...
It doesn't even have to be that derogatory.
Right.
I mean, it can be, or it doesn't have to be a person. It can be like,
this cotton picking dress isn't fitting
right. What's
today?
the cotton picking problem? Just solve it.
Right.
First of all, it's not really cotton picking, like it would be picking with a little,
right,
little apostrophe.
So when I originally saw this video, I'm like, let him go. It's not that big of a deal. He didn't mean to say something racist.
Clearly not.
Right.
Clearly
exactly. Not. But of course, Rick Sanchez got criticized for it during the break.
Because his whole show is like about Twitter.
It's all about Twitter. He's on Twitter the entire time. Yeah. He's checking Twitter throughout the breaks. That's why he keeps a list.
Right.
It's Rick's list.
Right.
Anyway, so he got some criticism on Twitter during the break, and then he comes back with an apology.
Right,
and the apology is awesome.
Right.
So let's go to that.
In the middle of that conversation at one point, I said, why can't the President of the United States seem to figure this out? After all, he is the cotton-picking President of the United States. Well, soon after I said that, I started getting some tweets from some of you saying, you just said cotton-picking President of the United States for about the first black President of the United States. You're not even realize it? I was just saying cotton-picking because it's a term that I've used because I grew up in the South. It's a point that's often used to illustrate frustration. Not in any way shown to used to show any kind of disrespect. However, I was for using it in case it was taken by anyone as an act of disrespect. So there you go. And by the way, thank you. I got about 10 tweets right away from people on Twitter saying, hey, be careful using comments like that. So I do, and I apologize for it.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, he didn't need the explanation of why, because I didn't even know. It's a term that clearly has Southern genesis. It's because that's where we didn't pick cotton in Wisconsin.
Right.
But I don't. It just I didn't even think about that. But I mean, everybody says it. I mean, I didn't grow up in the South, and I grew up hearing it.
You say cotton picking?
I grew up hearing it. I mean, I know exactly what I mean. Maybe I heard it on TV. I don't think I've ever said the word.
Right.
But I mean, it is, and he's exactly right. It's frustration. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's what's the cotton picking delay?
Right.
Cotton picking traffic.
I know.
It's cotton picking black guys.
Yeah. I know, Jay.
No, is that wrong?
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to denounce and reject Ben Mankiewicz.
Hold on one sec. Cenk just pointed something out to me. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. Growing up in the South, I didn't realize that you couldn't say cotton picking black guys, and so I apologize for saying that. The thing I just said, and Cenk, thank you.
The part of that apology that cracked me up the most is Rick Sanchez didn't grow up in the South. He grew up in Miami. He's from Cuba originally. Yeah. That's not the South. I mean, technically it's South, but it's like saying, I grew up in Chile, And since I grew up in the South, I make racial references like that all the time.
Yeah, Miami is much more, as we often said, as many often say, the sixth borough of New York more than it is the South. Although in some, again, defense of him, he grew up in Hialeah, which is a significant Cuban community. But like when he would have grown up, it's pretty rural. So, and there, as you know, Cenk, there are parts of Miami in and around it that are still sort of surprisingly rural, which would be a little more south. Everybody uses it. His point was merely, he obviously didn't mean anything by it at all, right? We all agree with
that. Now, to be fair, I also grew up in the South of my town in central Jersey.
Right, sure.
Okay. Now, listen. I don't want anybody to get confused. It was the most honest slip-up of all time. Yeah, you know, with a black president, you shouldn't say cotton-picking president.
I don't even...
And his apology was actually not that over the top. It was slightly amusing. But on all counts, I'm giving Rick Sanchez a full and complete TYT pardon.
Yeah, a full and complete pardon. I don't even think it's inappropriate. And I think that people are, you know, I think it's one of those things you could point out, hey, you might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself on that. But there's not even any... I don't even think there's any issue there because he's not talking about him. He's talking about the frustration that he doesn't use the pulpit, the bully pulpit of the presidency to change people's ridiculous misconceptions about his faith and about his ties to Islamic fundamentalists, which, by the way, we have some great poll numbers, which we'll be bringing you in the next hour.
Hey, Susan, I thought the most lame part was how his overwhelming response was a total of 10 tweets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, oh my God. And also he said about 10 of you, which means 6, you know.
Right. And I thought, my God, is anybody watching CNN? Why do you only get 10 tweets on that?